guys, just one second, I get set up here. So doing something a little bit different today, and just need to warn you immediately that my son is in the other room, so this may get disrupted. But I figured the Night's Watch box, the Greyjoy box is out, and it's only out in the UK. As far as I know, it's not on Card Game DB. So I thought it'd be a good idea to actually kind of unbox it and go through the cards. I'm not going to go into a super detailed review, just for the simple fact that there's a lot of cards. But I thought I'd give people a chance to actually, see the cards really, because as I said, as far as I'm aware, the UK is the only place that has it. Or it might be EU. But American cousins don't. I mean, as I send you them, as I talk to you here, I might quickly just go onto the FFG website. I'm pretty sure it's not even saying. I'm pretty sure it doesn't even say, shipping or whatever it is, coming soon or whatever. Let's take the time for it. Yeah, it's still on the boat. It's not even shipping now, so I don't know when our North American cousins are going to actually get it. So that's the plan for this. Is just to go through the cards one by one, have a little chat about each card, and move on. Hopefully this is something you guys enjoy. I'm not saying something I'm going to be doing regularly, just because quite often the cards are out before I get a chance to do this. So okay, so I've prepared. We have the first card, and this is a card that has been seen before. We've got Balon Greyjoy, who's a 7-cost of a military and power icon, 5 strength. He has the Ironborn and Law trait, Pillage Renowned, and he has the action of kneel your faction card to choose a card in your opponent's discard pile, put it into play under your control. At the end of the phase, shuffle it back into the deck. So he seems a fairly interesting card. I believe the problem he's going to have is the fact he's called Balon Greyjoy. Basically, the other two are pretty good. Now he's got a pretty good ability. That ability to take a card out of your opponent's discard pile and put it into play. That's pretty strong. Obviously, gets cards out of your opponent's discard pile for flea bottom. That can be good. Or if there's a particularly powerful card in there, you can use it yourself. For instance, Varys. Can be quite a good card of Varys. You Varys, and then you take control of their Khal Drogo, or something like that. Probably not the end of the world. Probably not the bad card. So yeah, he's an interesting card. I'm not sure though how much play he'll see. I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyway, the next card is another card everyone has already seen, and that is Euron Crowseye. He is a 6-cost Tricon, 4 strength, Captain, Ironborn, Lord, and Raider. He has the Intimidate keyword and reaction. After you marshal Euron Crowseye, search your hand, deck, and discard pile for the silence and put it into play. Shuffle your deck. So that's his ship. That will come on to in a minute, but this is going to a warships deck. He's a really good way of getting cards out for Big Victorian. Again, I think he might struggle even. Easy for me to say, from the problem that he is not core Euron Crowseye. In fact, he's called Euron Crowseye. So I think if you're looking for a good card to go into your deck, I think the other one might be better. But if you're looking for options and you're building around the theme, I think he's probably a better choice. Not sure there's much else to say about him, if I'm honest. And you guys will have already seen him because he's been on the FFG. Also, at the moment, you're seeing a lot of Greyjoys running all the 7-costers, so maybe you need to cut down a little bit. Now, here's the first card I don't believe has been spoilt anywhere, and it's the Knight. In case you're wondering, he's called the Knight because I believe he's literally the one Knight in the whole Iron Isles. So he's a 5-cost military and power icon, 5 strength, has the Knight keyword and the House Hollow keyword, which I doubt will ever have an impact. He has a very good ability, which is no attachments except weapon, which is something I always love. And while he's attacking alone, he gains stealth and renowned. Really like this card. This was quite a surprise when I opened the pack this morning. I got to have a look at him. He's probably better like just like as a one-of. I don't think you're going to be building around him, obviously, but I mean, that ability is pretty good, especially if you're going second, maybe. Just that ability to have a guy who can, gives you a bit of stealth. Obviously, renown's always good. He's not wardable. No, you can't put any negative attachments on him. So yeah, I'm quite a fan. I'm going to something. Probably a card I'm going to try. He's obviously not loyal, so if you were looking to do some sort of Knights deck, I guess, I don't know, probably not. It's Greyjoy. Haven't really got any. But yeah, he seems a pretty strong card in my opinion. I'm a big fan. Especially I always like cards which are their cost and their strength is equal. And this ability, while attacking alone, so you also got the Greyjoy buffs. You could, got raiding longships. You could not raiding longships, scout ships. You could use to boost his strength as well. So it's quite a good chance he could actually win the challenge by himself. So yeah, quite a big fan of him. The next one I believe we again have seen, which is Aaron Damper. He's a 5-cost, 3 strength, intrigue and power icon. Has the Drown God, Iron Brawn and Lord trait, insight, and after a Drown God character you control is killed, draw 1 card. Limit once per phase. I'm not lie, I'm not a massive fan of the Drown God theme. He seems very good. He seems probably the best Damper. Now there's other ways of getting the characters out of the dead pile. So I think you'll see a lot of play in that kind of deck. If that's your thing, brilliant. Not gonna lie, it's not really my kind of thing. But he seems a pretty strong card nonetheless. Next up, we have the Drum. Now, this was spoiled by Banter Behind the Thrones, I believe. He's a 5-cost, 4 strength, military and power icon, and he has the Captain and Lord trait. And while he is attacking in a military or power challenge, each attacking character with an intrigue icon can't be declared as a defender. Again, quite like him. Seems quite a good strong one-of. There is the fun here that you can take little birds, put them on your opposing characters so they can't defend challenges from him. Seems pretty cool. I don't know how much you're building around that though. That seems a bit janky for me. But we do like jank, so maybe that's something we'll try on a stream one day. But otherwise, he's a really good. I think include maybe as a one-off, mainly because he messes around with your opponent. So your opponent's sitting there with you with Drum on the other side of the board, and thinking, well, you do a challenge without him. Now, do you, so you do, let's say you do a power challenge and he's still standing. Well, now, who do you defend that power challenge with? Because do you defend all you guys with intrigue icons? Is that kind of what you want? That opens up maybe intrigue to get through with Euron and Asher. I think he's a pretty interesting character. Probably not one of the stronger ones in here, but I think he's definitely someone who can see some play. I think this is probably a good one-of. Now, this is a character I am a big fan of. I'm going to probably butcher this pronunciation. Is it Gweneth Hollow? She's a 4-cost monocon, just a power icon, 3 strength, but an action. Choose cards in an opponent's an opponent's discard pile. Place them at the bottom of his or her deck in any order. Then gain 1 gold and draw a card. So, there's this card called Fleabottom. Don't even know exists. She's really good at stopping Fleabottom. She's also really good she gains you a gold and draw from this as well. So, not only are you denying your opponent access to cards in the discard pile, so again, you've got other start cards, obviously start like Fleabottom. They also love Summer, getting character to the discard pile. That's pretty common at the moment. Targ's pretty common at the moment. They've got Second Sons. They like putting cards in the discard pile. You've also got Martell. They like Fleabottom. They like having cards in the discard pile. This is a really good counter to that. Again, I'm not sure you're going to have... Oh, she's loyal, I should say. I'm not sure you're going to have too many of her in your deck. I don't think she's like a... what's his face? Tris Botley, who you probably know he's just a free off because he's just really good. But I think as a one-off, I think she's can be quite clutch. So yeah, big fan of her. Next up, I believe again the one that has already been spoiled, which was Andric the Unsmiling, I believe. Again, sorry for butchering the words here. 4-cost, military monocon with 5 strength, pillage the Ironborn and Raider traits. Reaction. After Andric discards a card from pillage, choose a non-limited location or chapter in your opponent's discard pile. Discard one copy of that from play. So, obviously, pillage is quite a theme of this deck. I think if you're running a pillage deck, you'd probably want to put him as a one-of in there. His reaction, probably not going to trigger that often, but again, you know, if your opponent's got, obviously, the non-limited bit kind of makes him a bit more limited. You know, I'm not 100% sure how much you would use him. I guess you could. I guess the ultimate combination for this would be you win the challenge unopposed. We do not sow their like duped winter location, and then you use him to then use that to discard the other copy of it. So you get rid of something big. I think that's probably about the best use. Possibly a bit too janky, and also Monocon, always a bit of a worry when you have to actually be in the challenge to do it. There's a lot of obviously control at the moment, and you're limited to only military. Next one again, I believe has been spoiled, which is a who is, why does it have such awkward names? Was it Qual the Maid? Could be wrong there. Rubbish of names, as I will keep pointing out. He's a 4-cost military and power Bicon with 3 strength, Ironborn trait. Reaction after you win a challenge in which he is participating. Either stand a warship location or stand Asher Greyjoy. Again, probably a decent one-of. If you're running any of the Ashers, except maybe Core Asher, you probably want him in there, because the Asher's probably a free of. You're probably building yourself around, and having that ability to put him and Asher into a challenge, stand Asher, put Asher into another challenge, is pretty strong. Don't as much as I say, it's already been spoiled. So we'll go on now. We've got a Maester, and I think this is a pretty good Maester, especially if you're a big fan of the Conclave. So he's 3 strength, free cost, because you know pretty much all Maesters are. He's an intrigue and power Bicon with 2 strength. Has the Maester trait. He's Maester Murnamer. I've got to go with that. Interruption. When the effects of a triggered location ability will initiate, kneel him to cancel them. So again, this is really good. There's a lot of obviously locations that involve having to kneel to work, and we already talked about Flea Bottom. So he's a good counter for Flea Bottom. He's a good counter for the Wall if that comes back, and either Wall. He's a good counter for the Red Keep. He's a good counter for Harrenhal. Yeah, he's really good. And if he's non-loyal, so if you're doing the Conclave, I think he's a definite one-of. I think he's definitely one of the Maesters you are considering for a Conclave deck. In Greyjoy, I think he's probably fairly useful. Obviously, you have got Victarion, but obviously if your opponent's going first, they can trigger something before you have the ability to kneel with a warship, potentially. But again, this is an interrupt. It doesn't have to go first. So yeah, he's really interesting. I really like this character. There's a lot of good locations at the moment. I think he's going to be pretty good at stopping them. Obviously, potentially not necessarily in Greyjoy, but maybe in some other banner builds, because Greyjoy do have a lot of anti-location tech, but something to build around. Maybe do Greyjoy Conclave. I think he'd be very good on that. Now, I believe this card has been... this card has been spoilt, but we'll go over it. So this is Old Grey Gill. He's a 3-cost intrigue and power Bicon with 2 strength. He's Drown God traded and Ironborn, and he has the action kneel Old Grey Gill to kill another Greyjoy character you control. Then you may return that character from your dead pile to your hand. So again, Drown God theme, as I said earlier, I'm not a massive fan of the Drown Gods. He seems very good in that, you know, kill a character, probably gain some power after killing the character, put him dead, then return him to your hand, you know, to play him out again. You know, it's good. It's not a deck I've played with much, so I can't say I've got much knowledge of it, but he seems like he'd be very good in that kind of style of deck. Then we've got the Priest of Olwick. He's another Drown God character, 3 cost. Power Monocon with 4 strength. While there is a while there's a Drown God character in your dead pile, Priest of the Old Wick contributes its strength to dominance even while kneeling. So, does what it says in the tin. You're running, you know, you obviously got the Greyjoy tech for winning Dom with this style of deck. It'll help you do that. And then I believe, yes, the last of the Drown God characters. This is the Drowned Prophet. He's 2 cost, 2 strength power monocon with the Drowned God trait. Interruption. While when Drowned Prophet is killed, search the top 5 cards of your deck for a Greyjoy character, put it into your dead pile, shuffle your hand. Again, works very well, Drowned God stuff. Could be a good way of finding your Vix, your Drowned God Fanatics. Again, another card that we've already seen was in one of the preview articles is the Eager Deckhand. This is a 2 strength military monocon with 2 cost. Has the ally a raider trait and has a reaction after a warship enters play under your control, put the Deckhand into play from your hand. So very good cheap character, good way. There is ways now of cheating warships into play in the challenge phase. So potentially you can have a warship and the characters enter play mid-challenge, which I think could be quite good. Yeah, it just seems it's nice that you got this kind of sneaky ability in coming into Greyjoy. I'm a fan. Again, if you're doing a warship deck, probably worth considering. And there is lots of raider tech as well coming in this pack, so well, not a lot, but a fair bit. So it does work with that. The last one is what people call the pillage card that's been promised. It's the Oakmont Riva. He is a 2 cost, 1 strength, military and power Bicon. He has the Ironborn and Raider keywords, and he has pillage. And while your opponent has 10 or more cards in his or her discard pile, Oakmont Riva gains stealth. So this is a pretty. If you're going down the pillage route, green site, this is really good. Combos with flea bottom, so a potential flea bottoming in a stealth Bicon is never a bad thing. The only real downside is it does take a little bit of time for the ability to get working, because obviously you need to have 10 cards per discard pile. Potentially you are going to do that quite quickly if you're on the green side pillage route. And the other thing as well is he's only 1 strength, so stuff like Bow of a Dragon does just kill him. Okay, now that's all the Greyjoy characters. Now onto the locations. Again, another one that was on one of the preview articles, but it's worth talking about with Victarion and also the Deckhand, is the Silence. This is the 4 cost Greyjoy location for the box. It is loyal and has the warship trait. Gives you +2 initiative, but the important text here is challenge action, kneel Silence to put a warship location into play from your hand. Then, if you control Euron Crow's Eye, stand him. So obviously, this works really well with the Euron Crow's Eye from the pack, the one where you search for this card and just put it into play when you play him. I think it's going to be a lot stronger and probably harder to pull off though with core Euron Crow's Eye. Getting him into 2 challenges, getting him taking 2 locations from your opponent is really good. Obviously, this would need a warship theme because you need lots of warships. You need to put warship into play. You better stand him. But the potential, obviously, of your opponent thinking they're defended against Euron Crow's Eye, and then all of a sudden you put a scout ship into play, kneel that to give Euron Crow's Eye strength boost and stand him. That's pretty strong. Yeah, I'm quite a big fan. Obviously, you need to be probably better in the warship decks, as I'm sure you can see. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a really strong and good ability. I'm not sure this is the best 4 cost location we have seen out of a big box. I think it might be actually one of the weaker ones, and that's the only thing that does worry me. Next up, we have the Great Wick. So this is a different way of playing the Drowned God, I believe, because there is, I think, the Great Wick is one of the other cards as well. I do believe there's already a location called this. I said I'm not playing much Drowned God. This is a 3 cost location. It's loyal. It's Drowned God and Ironborn traded. And reaction: after a character enters your dead pile, each opponent chooses and discards 1 card from his or her hand. So this is a really good way of doing hand destruction. You can Valor and wipe your opponent's hand, and then you've got I can't remember his name now, but there's the Drowned God character that there is the Drowned God character that you can play characters like your dead piles if you're in your hand. He's one second while I try and find him. Tile, the Trice Drowned. So when you may marshal non-unique Drowned God characters from the dead piles if they're in your hand. So You destroy your opponent's hand, you have him on the board, and then you can just play your cards out of your dead pile. So it's almost like you have your hand still, and they don't have their hand. So this seems really strong. Different style of deck from the other Drown God decks, but I still think worth looking at. You would probably need some anti-discard pile tech though, because obviously a lot of factions like the discard piles at the moment. So but then it's something to build around. I think the ability is strong enough. You probably would. Great red door target, of course, being free cost. So yeah, then the next card we got. One second, I've got a different order of my cards I'm reading. Cool. Is the Golden Storm. This is a 2-cost warship. Reaction: after you win a military challenge as the attacking player, kneel Golden Storm to choose and kill a participating character. Then either control participating raider character, stand Golden Storm. So, again, a pretty strong ability. Be able to kill a character that tries to defend, because obviously the fear that Greyjoy like stuff going unopposed, and having this out might stop your opponent from opposing. So, I guess the combination you're looking for is this with the Seastone Chair. Could be good. So you give your opponent the option: you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Oppose the challenge, and I'll kill you with this. Don't oppose the challenge, and I'll kill you with the Seastone Chair. Or pick away, kill the Seastone Chair, as to say. So, obviously standing this, so you would need ways of doing multiple militaries for this to be that useful. Because obviously you stand the Golden Storm. But, it seems a pretty good strong card. Definitely a good one of you running lots of warships. Then you've got Maidens Bane. So, this is a 2-cost Greyjoy location, again warship traded. And has reaction: after you win an unopposed challenge, kneel Maidens Bane to choose and stand an attacking character. Then in that character's captain, stand Maidens Bane. So, yeah, I mean, again, we just talked about a card that, wants your opponents to oppose. So you potentially have Maidens Bane and Golden Storm out together. Well, what are you going to do? If you don't oppose it, I'm going to stand that character. If you do oppose it, I'm going to kill you with Golden Storm. And also, the fact that this is standing captain characters, there's some pretty good captains we've already seen in here, we've already got. So it seems pretty strong. Different from what it used to be. This used to be a warship that used to participate as a character. Used to kneel it, and I think you had like 2 strength for every warship you had, or 1 strength for every warship you had, or something like that. So a little bit different now, but again, stand is good. I hear. And the last of the locations, we have the Scout Vessel. Now this card's a bit bonkers. Doesn't seem it, but it is. So it's a 0-cost location, warship traded. Interrupt: when a character you control discards a card using pillage, kneel and sacrifice the scout ship to discard 3 cards instead. So the reason this card is so good is if you have any reaction to pillage, so the Mountain, Victarion, Asher, the 7-cost Asher, you trigger that off each of the pillages. So the Mountain could in theory kill 3 characters from the pillage ability. Euron Crow's Eye can go and steal 3 locations from the discard pile. Asher can draw 3 cards. This is really good. Again, a slight build around card, not something you slot into any deck, but if you're running the 7-cost Asher, you're running, if you're doing a Banner Kraken deck with Lannister, or a Banner Wolf deck for the Pillage deck, I think you probably include all this. It doesn't work with Tywin though, because that says when you discard 1 card, I believe. I believe that is the ruling. I could be wrong. So the next card was quite a cool surprise, because I've been doing a lot of research into the background of Game of Thrones. So this is Red Rain. So this is one of the Valyrian steel swords that went missing, and from the Reigns of Castamere, obviously you probably know, the same house that got wiped out from there. So this is a 2-cost attachment, obviously, with the weapon trait. He has a unique Greyjoy character only. If it's attached to Drum, he gains stealth, so he has stealth and you can't oppose you with an intrigue icon. Seems pretty good. And reaction: after you win an unopposed challenge in which the attached character is attacking, it gains 2 power, limit once per phase. So this means, like Drum, you can see Drum in a rush deck, whack that on him, you win an unopposed power, you get 1 for the unopposed, he gains 2 power, and also it's really hard to oppose him. I think this is really good. He's also a captain, so obviously he could stand with some of the tech we've seen. So I think there's a very interesting new rush deck coming out of Greyjoy from this. Yeah, I think Red Rain seems pretty good. It also goes onto the character. Greyjoy are very good at keeping their characters around. So yeah, no, I am a fan. And then you've got Fleet Captain. This is a 1-cost attachment which got the title trait. Attached character gains the Captain trait and gets +1 strength or +3 strength instead if you control 3 or more warships. So we've already seen a card which, if you have Captain, you get to stand the Captain. If you're in the challenge, there's lots of things that we get on with this. The strength buff alone is pretty good. If you're going to run lots of warships, you could whack this in. It's don't think much to say. It's a pretty simple card, but I think it seems pretty good. Well, and then we've got What is Dead May Never Die. Oh, What is Dead May Never Die. This is a free cost. This is a free cost event. It's got the Drown God trait and has reaction after you win dominance. Choose a character in the dead pile and put it into play. So again, we talked about the the fact that they got the Great Wit killing everyone. This seems this seems to combo that pretty well. But yeah, I don't think there's much more to say. Obviously, it's loyal. Again, if you're doing the Drown God tech, this seems pretty strong. And then the last event is the Nighttime Raider. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Nighttime Raid, sorry. It's a 1-cost event. Action, choose up to 3 characters with Pillage and or the Raider trait. Until the end of the phase, each of these characters gains Stealth. Possibly quite good to be running the Pillage tech. I'm not sure you would bother. I think there's other ways of getting it that would be better. Seems alright. Wrong way. Now on to the non-Greyjoy cards. And we have, oh god, why did I have such complicated names? We have a 5-cost Baratheon character who's got a military and intrigue icon with 3 strength, the Captain, Raider, and Smuggler traits. Action, nil Koran. You're going to go Koran. And a warship location to choose and nil 1 character in a warship location. I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure about this. I think the cost is too high. Having to nil warship and him to nil a location and an opposing character. I mean, I know there's some pretty good characters, and you could be looking at the economy of going, I've nailed a 5-cost character to nil your 7-cost character, but I'm not sure. In fact, you have to nil them to then choose. So if you're playing against Greyjoy and they they Vince it, sorry. I think you'd be pretty upset. So yeah, I don't think he's great. I guess Baratax, you could argue. Next, we've got the Baratheon warship. So this is the Fury, or Fury I should say. This is unique. It is 2-cost location with the warship trait. And while you control Sans Baratheon, he gains Intimidate. So that's pretty good, especially got the King version. After you win a power challenge, nil Furies, choose a character or location. Move 1 power from that card to your faction card. The secondary abilities are alright. Baratheon seems to have a lot of this moving power around at the moment. Obviously with Stannis, which is the main card for this from, you need to have you would need to give him Lightbringer, I think, to give him Renown. So that's probably not the best. Yeah, seems okay. Now we've got Lannister, 3-cost character. He's got a military and intrigue icon with 3 strength, and he is Gunforth, son of the Grun. He's a clansman. He's got Ambush 4. After you win a challenge in which Gunforth is attacking, the losing player must choose and discard 1 card from his or her hand. Yeah, it's okay. I don't know there's much more. don't think there's much more to say about that. He's fine. He's a clansman. Obviously, you could jump him. There's ways of getting him in for cheaper than that with like Harrenhal. He's unique. Probably a good one of in a clansman deck. I like the fact that clansman they're still getting cards. I probably will use him at some point because I really love Lannister. It's one of my favourite. It's one of my favourite Lannister decks. So yeah, I don't think there's much more to say than that. And then we've got my mind. Oh, wrong way. My mind is my weapon, which is a 1-cost Lannister event. It's during a military challenge, which you are you choose a character you control with an intrigue icon, have them participate in the challenge on your side. So I quite like this card. There's a couple of different uses for it. So obviously, you can put a character into the challenge. He can get around stealth. Obviously, Greyjoy seems to be getting a lot of stealth tech in this pack. So that's a good way of getting around it. With your big characters with an intrigue icon. Again, you could there's lots of stuff. Again, I'm not sure you're probably having to build around it. It doesn't say nil the characters. It says choose a character with an intrigue icon to participate in the challenge on your side. So you could block a challenge with this, I guess, as if I'm reading this right, and then have that character participate in another challenge. You could have, for instance, Cersei Lannister, the Queen Cersei. If you're doing like I've done a few times, you ban her to do the Banner of the Rose. You take the Intimidate event, Lord Running's Ride. And I guess with this, you do your military first with her and Jaime, or with Jaime, sorry, and then she just joins the challenge. Then you do your entry challenge, and then you do your power challenge. You've nailed 3 characters, and probably won all 3 of those challenges. So yeah, I think this could be quite a good card actually. Also, a good way of getting put to the sword through by jumping a character in mid challenge. So yeah, the fact it doesn't say nil. Just says choose a character with an intrigue icon, have it participate in the challenge. That seems to make it to me really good. Right, now we've got a really good card. We've got the Desert Raider. He's a 2-cost, 2-cost, 2 strength, military icon, ally, House Dane, Raider. Reaction: after you do a challenge, put Desert Raider into play from your dead pile and choose a character controlled by the winning opponent. That character gains 1 power. That's the downside to this card, and that is quite a downside. Until the end of the phase, that character loses a intrigue or power icon, and this character gains it. So this seems pretty good in the way you can put these guys out early, kill them, a bit like a bastard daughter. You're just killing them. You don't care too much. Now they're in your dead pile. Jumping them in for free is pretty good. And what does your opponent do? If they kill them again, well, they can just come out again. There's no limit to his reactions. Just like a Vince, you can have 3 of these in your discard pile, and all 3 jump out, or dead pile, and all 3 jump out. So yeah, I think this is really good. I like this as a card. There is other stuff you could combo with this. So obviously you could jump out, choose a character with 2 icons, remove one of those icons, and in the same reactions. Oh, sorry, 1 second, guys. In the same reactions, then use desert. Then use. Sorry, guys, 1 second. My son's just come up.
Where's it gone?
Where's it gone?
Where's it gone?
I think it's run out of battery, Bobby.
Down.
No battery.
Button.
No battery. Okay, watch the TV. Watch the TV in a second. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, as I said, you can then, in the same reaction window to losing a challenge, you could then sacrifice a character with is it the Prince's Pass? So again, I think a really strong card. Next one is the Blood Royal. It's a 1-cost attachment with the House. Is it Yarwood? and title traits. Great Martell character only. While you're not the first player, attach a character gains stealth and renowned. Seems good if you're doing a rush deck out of Martell. Not much else you can say about that. Yeah, Martell struggles with power gain, so good way getting power gain. Next, we have the Vindictive Ranger. This is a Night's Watch character. He's free cost, free strength, and miniature icon only. Reaction: after you lose a challenge as a defending player, Vindictive Ranger gains stealth and a challenge icon of your choice to the end of the phase. So, I think this is good. I'm not sure. The main reason I think this is good is I think this could possibly replace the Naive Scout. But then I guess you quite like the intrigue icon on that. I'm not sure. I'm going to give this a go in my Ranger deck. I think the stealth could be useful to get push challenges through with the Haunted Forest Scouts, which is obviously the main reason you probably run in the deck. And obviously, if you've got Riker out, that will have a power icon anyway. So yeah, I think it's good. I'm not really sure. You obviously want to be going second to make the most of it. Okay, then you've got the West Watch by the Bridge. So I think this card is quite. I think this card's quite janky. I'm not going to see much play, but West Watch by the Sea is one cost Night's Watch location with the North trait. Nil West Watch by the Bridge to choose and stand another Night's Watch location with printer cost 1 or lower, printer cost 4 or lower instead if you control a Ranger, Steward, and a Builder character. So obviously the immediate thing you think about is the wall here, from the core set. The issue being you needing a Ranger, Steward, and Builder character might not be that easy. So there's a lot of working pieces to this. I guess the other way you could do this with a wall deck is you could take the Haunted Forest. Obviously, first challenge comes in, Haunted Forest gets knelt for the to stop the unopposed. Let's keep the wall up. You then use this. You then nil this to then stand that one of the Haunted Forest up again, and then obviously they can have another chance to go unopposed, and the wall is still not knelt. That could potentially be a good use for it. I'm not sure. It might seem like I think it seems like one few too many moving parts. Right, so now we've got Maester Vireman. He's a 2-cost power monocon with 2 strength. He's House Tully and a Maester. And his reaction: after you win a miniature or power challenge, Neil Maester Vireman to choose another character with a trait that shares a trait with him. That character gains 1 power. So this could be good in a Maester deck. You're trying to get power through. Obviously could be good in a Tully deck, but if you saw my stream with the Tullys, I'm not sure they're good right now. I think you're just better off playing Stark. So yeah, it's alright. It's a good way of getting Blackfish powered up, but I'm not sure that's a thing at the moment. Maybe a card for later. The next one I think could be quite good. This is Carhold. It's got the North trait. It's a 2-cost start location. While a player does not have a winter plot revealed, characters and locations he or she controls can't gain power. So, I think this is quite good. The first thing I like about this is winter is getting some help, because out of summer and winter is severely lacking. Sorry, you need that a bit. Winter is severely lacking tech right now. Summer's got loads. Everyone runs summer plots. But not many people outside of like Wildlings are running winter plots. So I'm seeing potentially a Stark deck that runs lots of winter plots. Kind of maybe a bit of a shutdown deck to stop your opponent from gaining power. Won't be great against everyone, because obviously some factions aren't really worried about gaining power. But if you're running like a Tyrell deck, well, yeah, you guys can't gain power unless you're running winter plots. You don't want to run plots your Tyrell. Seems pretty good. The only downside being that obviously in all those instances, a lot of this other winter support wouldn't work because there's summer plots out. But sorry, something worth considering. Maybe also you whack old Nan in there to give yourself some winter plots. Next one we've got is the Targaryen character, which I assume is spelled Colhole. He's 4 cost, 5 strength, no icons. Blood Rider Dothraki has Intimidate. Action, nil him and discard a card from your hand to have him participate in a challenge on your side. Pretty good. Again, more discarding stuff though to trigger. Obviously very good if you've got Marine. You trigger Marine in the challenge phase. None of the cards in there are particularly useful right now. You nil him, put him into a challenge. Probably a good one of. Probably not a great ward target either, because your opponent's going to discard cards to make him work. Maybe he is. Like Intimidate and like the Blood Rider trait. Okay, Bobby, 1 minute. Okay, thank you. 1 minute, okay? You only got that?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry guys, we'll get 1 second. I did fear this would happen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are almost done. Sorry about that again, guys. Right. So yeah, I like him. I think he'd be quite good. Could be good in crossing deck, potentially. The problem is he doesn't have any icons, so probably not that great in crossing, because obviously you need other characters out with those icons. Next up we've got the Dance of the Dragons. This is a 1 cost event. It's got the Song trait and has an action. Choose a non-event card with print cost 3 or lower in your discard pile and return it to your hand. It's probably okay. I don't think you'd be including this. I guess you can get dragons out your discard pile. Most cards at 3 costs or lower are flea bottomable, so why don't you leave them there for flea bottom? I'm not convinced this is a particularly strong card myself. I'd like to be proven wrong. Next up is a very interesting card, which is Sir Talbot. He's a Tyrell 3 cost character with 3 strength, a military and a power icon. No attachment set weapon and the Knight trait. Reaction, after opponent triggers a location ability, Sir Talbot gains +2 strength until the end of the phase, limit 3 times a phase. So there's some very interesting stuff you can do with this. One of them is that Tyrell event, where you sacrifice a character and you gain gold equal to his strength. So you make your opponent go first, and then he sits there. They probably going to trigger some locations because money. You need money to play cards out. And then you sacrifice him to gain a bucket load of money.
Don't you?
Hey, Bobby, I'm busy, please.
It was
Okay, in a minute. Sorry, once again, guys. What's the event I'm thinking of? To the banners, marching action. Choose a character, Tyrell character you control. Gain gold equal to that character's strength. Then sacrifice that character. So in theory, you get 9 gold from this. You could get 9 gold from sacrificing him, which seems pretty good. Really sorry guys, we're almost done now though. The other obviously use is in challenge phase. Your opponent wants to use flea bottom, you get strength. So use scout ship, you get the equal strength buff with it as well. I've got like him. I think you'll see lots of players of one of, maybe in a knight's deck. Again, no attachments yet. Weapons pretty good, can't be warded. You can quite happily put Lazy Sansa's Rose on him, not too worried too much. Next one's an interesting card. So you've got the Shield Isles. This is a 2 cost. Sorry guys, try and neaten this up a bit. 2 cost Tyrell location with Reach trait. Increase the draw or the number of cards. Sorry, increase the number of cards each player draws in the draw phase by 1. So this is double-sided. I like it, but obviously you are giving your opponent a draw. Now this is basically like a summer harvest every turn. I mean, is that the end of the world? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I guess if there's ever like a Tyrell pillage deck, this could go into that. I don't think that ever will be a thing. But yeah, it's an interesting card. I don't know how much I feel about giving my opponent 1 extra card a turn though. I guess you're getting the base off. I mean, if you're running like a Tyrell big guys deck, or you're running what's it, Banter Bridge, bit of bridge cabinet, you just bring in put big character every turn. It's probably better because you're shooting your character better than their characters. I say an interesting card to consider. Now we're on to the neutrals. We've got Bronze Royce, which is a 6 cost military and power 5 cost character. He's unique with the Lord and Aaron traits. He has renowned, And after you win a challenge in which he is defending, nil a neutral location with prince cost 1 or higher to stand him. Limit twice per phase. Seems pretty good. I guess later on not necessarily using your Great Halls to stand him. You could use him Flea Bottom on him if you haven't got any good targets in there. I mean, I guess using Flea Bottom to stand a guy who's 5 cost, so 6 cost with 5 strength and renown. Probably not the worst idea. Yeah, he seems pretty solid. I'm not sure how much play you'll see, but he seems like it could be quite a good card, especially like a big guy's deck. So we've got a Wildling. We've got the Rogue Wildling. He's a 4-cost character with a military and power icon, 3 strength, ambush 5. So his reaction: after Rogue Wildling enters play, choose and stand a Wildling character you control. So this is pretty good, and it's probably going to the Wildling deck. I mean, this is a great character to use Last of the Giants on. If you haven't seen any of your big characters and you're running that, because the choose and stand a Night's Watch character, that's pretty good. So you do a big challenge, one of your big guys, they go, ha, and then you jump him in and do another challenge with him. Stands good, he's non-unique, so you can run 3 of these in that Wildling deck, don't care if he dies. Again, this seems like a pretty good card for the Wildling build. Next one we've already seen, which is the Citadel Archivist. He's a 2-cost, 1 strength, military. That's the only one he hasn't got. Intrigue and power, Bicon. He's got the Mesa traits. He's got a reaction. After he enters your discard pile, each player shuffles their discard pile into their deck. So he's really good for anti-pillage if that becomes a thing. I'm not sure you're going to see much play because I don't think pillage is going to be the be-all and end-all. So he's a good anti-pillage card. He's a good anti-flea bottom card. He's just a good anti-recursion card. If you think your opponent's playing Annuals of Castle Black, you use him. You discard him and play somehow, and then you get rid of all their events. So yeah, I'm sure you'll see some. I'm sure there'll be some sort of janky playing of him in there. He's definitely not an auto include though. Right, next up we've got the Starry Sept. This is a 3-cost unique location. It has the Old Town and 7 traits. Sorry guys, 1 sec. Right, that's fine. Get ready. Be there in a minute. This is an action. Move 1 power from the Starry Sept to a character until the end of the phase. Treat that character's printed box was blank. Reaction: after a power challenge, it gains 1 power. So it seems alright. I'm not keen on milk that's giving your opponent power. Again, early on it's probably very good. Later on, that's really risky. But obviously, it could be critical. I'm not sure. Again, probably see some work in the Faith Militant deck. I'm not sure we'll see it outside of there. Now, this is a fun card. Reckless. This is a condition. It's terminal. Attached character must be declared as a attacker or defender in each challenge if able to. So, you whack this on your opponent's character, some pretty good character, and then you do a challenge they have to defend, which you don't care about. So this and Harpoon Marge I could see being real good fun. Just kneeling your opponent's characters out with having done very little. And then you leaving yourself free to do the challenge you actually care about. So I think this could be a really good build around card. The terminal bit is probably about the only downside, but I guess if it wasn't terminal, it would be a bit bonkers. We have seen this one already. This is a World Champ card. This is When I Woke. It's a 2-cost event reaction. After a player loses a military challenge, that player chooses a participating character and places it on the top of the owner's deck. Maximum 1 per challenge. Yeah, pretty handy. I'm not sure it's going to be, again, something you run in every deck, but it could be useful. If your opponent knows about it, though, they'll probably just stop doing military challenges as possible. But again, if you're not characters they care about. We've got the Sea of Blood, the new agenda, which again has been on the FFG website for a while. So the prophecy trait. During military challenges, reduce the cost of each event you play by 1 for each blood token on it. You can't play events during intrigue or power challenges. Reaction: after you win a military challenge by 5 or more, kneel your faction card to place a blood token on it. Then search your deck for an event, reveal it, and then add that to your hand, shuffle your deck. So puts the sword on a stick. We do not so on a stick. There's lots of uses for this. I mean, I'm not. We'll see how much I play it. See, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure it's like amazing, but you know, in a high aggro deck, I could see like Targaryen this potentially, going fetching out Uchicaris potentially. Okay, now we've got the plots. The first one we have seen already, but I love this plot. This is We Take Westeros. It's Greyjoy only. It's a 5 cost, 9 initiative, 1 claim, war trait. When revealed, choose a location in a discard pile, put it into play under your control. Running a pillage deck, whack this in there. Running greenside deck, whack it in there. I'm racing. I used greenside the other day. First turn, I discarded my opponent's wall with it. The new wall, sorry. So if I had this in my deck, next turn I'd flip this. I'd take control of that. And that's pretty much their, not their win condition, but that's a really good ability. They've built their whole deck around, gone. Worst case scenario, you probably take some sort of long limited. But you're running any kind of pillage, I think this needs to be almost an auto include. Oh, 6 reserve as well, I should say. Next one now, this is a really interesting card. This is Return to the Field. This is an edict. When revealed, you may sacrifice. Now, the important thing is you may sacrifice up to 3 characters. For each character sacrifice, draw 1 gold. Draw 1 card and gain 1 gold. So, fantastic way to get really good characters. Put them into your discard pile for flea bottom. Gaining some gold and drawing some more cards. This is a really interesting card. A reserve 7 as well. So you could draw a lot. You could draw those 3 cards and know you're probably not getting away. Yeah, I like this. I think again it's one of those cards you're going to have to build around a bit, but I think that build around could be worth it. Change as a Night's Watch player, leave your Messenger Ravens out. I had a game the other day, I couldn't really bring my Messenger Ravens back to hand. It wasn't really that much point, so I could just sacrifice them, draw a card from that when I don't care about my hand size, and gain some money. So yeah, I think it's a really good and interesting card. Here's another interesting card. This is Heir to the Iron Throne. This is a 4 gold, 1 initiative, 1 reserve. When revealed, it's Kingdom Trade, sorry. When revealed, search top 10 cards of your deck for a Lord or Lady character, put into play, shuffle your deck, then sacrifice a Lord or Lady character. So, again, not one for every deck, obviously Night's Watch when we're running this. Stark, I think, one of you running this. Sacrifice your Bran. Go and get like Eddard or someone good, or if you've got a big cat out, she gains money off that. You also get a draw off of it with Windermere if he's out, and then you go and use someone to go and get him back. I think this seems a really interesting card. Obviously, awful card if you've got no lords or ladies out. Another one could be getting you get rid of Sansa, so you got the box Sansa. She's no longer really useful, so too many characters die. Or to sacrifice and get someone better. Yeah, I like this one. I think this could be a very interesting event. We have Coordinated Attack. So War Plot, 3 gold, 8 initiative, 1 claim. Reaction: after you win a challenge as the attacking player, choose a different challenge type. You may initiate an additional challenge of that challenge type this phase. Seems okay. It's only got 4 reserve. I'm not a massive fan. I think there's better ways of getting multiple challenges through the same type. We've got Stolen Message, which I believe has already been seen. This is 5 gold, 7 initiative, 1 reserve, 1 claim. Sorry. Scheme: each opponent plays the top card of their deck revealed. Action: pay 1 gold to place the top card of the opponent's deck on the bottom of the opponent's deck. Limit 3 times per phase. Could be quite good with green sites, I guess. If you haven't seen Tywin, could be quite good with pillage stuff. If you've got the mountain out, you know what you're killing, and you can pay 1 gold to get rid of that card off the top of the deck. Yeah, a bit, I don't want to say janky, but it has some uses, but only in particular decks. Secrets of the Conclave. This is a 4 gold, 4 initiative, 1 reserve. Plot with the Conclave and Kingdom traits. Reaction: after the challenge phase begins, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Add 1 card to your hand, discard 1, and put the other on top of your deck in any. Put the others back on top of your deck in any order. Seems alright. not blown away by it, but draw's always good. Discarding a card, potentially a dead character, or getting a flea blossom target seems good. Yeah, seems alright. And then the last one, which we've seen on there, and this card is bonkers. It's Vanquish the Unbelievers. 5 gold, 8 initiative, 2 claim, edict. Force reaction. After the challenge phase begins, choose a trait. Kill each character you control that does not have that trait. Can't be saved. Limit 1 per deck, 5 reserve. So there's this deck called the Wildlings, and they all have this trait called Wildling. This, I think, becomes their opener, because it's good gold, good initiative, 2 claim. I'm sure there's other decks you could run it with. I'm not sure many, though. I guess a Knights deck could probably look at this. You could also have potentially a R'hllor deck could look at it. Obviously, you're probably getting your reducers at that point, but it's probably worth it for the rest of the ability. I don't think the Ranger deck wants to look at it because you've got a lot of characters with other traits. Yeah, it's interesting. I think decks that love it are going to include it, and decks that don't love it probably won't, which probably is quite generic way of saying. I'm not sure, but definitely Wildlings. Prepare for every Wildling deck to open to this from now on. There you go, guys. That is the box. I hope that was quite useful to you. There's I think some pretty good cards in there from every faction. Yeah, and hopefully you guys in America will be getting it soon. It looks like it's at least 2 weeks away, which is quite surprising that we've got it now in the UK. I've got a couple of Great Hall events coming up, which they've all said this is going to be available, so I'm going to be playing some of these cards. Hopefully it'll be on the Iron Throne soon. Do tell your mates, this is a video up on YouTube, so if anyone wants to go and see the video, just jump onto YouTube, onto Untitled Blackwater, tell them it'll all be there. And yeah, they can all see all the cards. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Otherwise, I better go before my son bursts down the door again. That makes this even harder to do. And as always, it has been emotional.